Welcome, comic fam.
Welcome to tranquility.
To a soothing audio oasis.
We are here. We've actually been sitting here for, 3 minutes since we hit that record button. And we're going to continue the conversation with you, the comic fam, who listens to us on the audio only portion. Because we have a replica we need to discuss.
We're going to discuss the golden gun.
From 007.
This is from the man with the golden gun, James Bond. And it's also most familiar to those who played GoldenEye on Nintendo 64.
That's why I wanted to talk about this today, because video games has forever affected the way I look at comic books. There's a ton of video game franchises that have been adapted to comics that I really got into. I collected some of the early Resident Evil comic books when I started getting into collecting. So, and they weren't even major keys. I just wanted to find stuff that I enjoyed. And being a survivor horror fan, I wanted to get horror books for that reason. So it kind of just started this cascade effect. But Nintendo 64 lasted a big imprint on my childhood.
Likewise. Dropped when I was like 8 years old, and I was a big gamer my whole life, but N64 kind of took things to a whole different level.
I learned how to hang out with my friends with that console. I'd go over to my friend's house and we'd, play video games. That's what we did.
Yeah, my first system was the original NES, then to the Super Nintendo, and then N64. And so I really have a lot of memories and games I played for each of those platforms. And I don't know, it was more of a individual game because you didn't have as many multiplayer games with the first Nintendo and then Super Nintendo.
Games. Oh man, I hate playing with people.
Yeah, and then N64, you got 4 ports, so you could hang out with a bunch of buddies and play your Mario Kart and your GoldenEyes and other multiplayer games.
Smash Bros.
Heck yeah, man.
Super Smash Bros.
Good times. And those tiny screens too.
Remember we had an N64 in the break room at the bank?
Yeah, I made sure that we had a Nintendo 64 at the bank
because we had hour-long lunch breaks there, and that's a lot of time to play Smash Bros.
Yeah, we played Smash Bros. I also had a Sega Genesis there for a little bit to get my Sonic practice in. Video games, man, it's a great time, and it's great for escapism. But the golden gun, this was the gun to run away from in GoldenEye.
Yeah, it's a one-shot, one-kill kind of concept.
I hated it. Oh, I hated it.
It just ended the game, man.
No fun. You get shot with that thing, and the guy just got a lucky shot. They're not really good. They just got the good gun that lets them be good.
One shot kill. The ammunition for this gun is $1 million around.
And you don't have the person's name on it like they did in the movie. 007 was on the bullet. But it was, for me, the best part of the game was Temple's grenade launchers. That was my favorite.
Oh, yeah, I got to use a cheat code to unlock all the weapons, and then boom, just grenade launcher.
Bank shots. It was awesome, man.
For me, it was the bathroom. All my showdowns ended up in that bathroom on that one level. In the bathroom stalls, and it was just chaos.
Was that the stack?
I don't remember.
I liked doing the big head. You can give them big heads in the gameplay. That was pretty funny. And then also paintball. You can turn all the weapon ammunition into paintball, so you can paint the canvas of the environment. But it was a great game, and we have the golden gun as a prop. And this is interesting. If you have $800,
$800, by the way,
$800, and the gun is really ugly.
It's blocky as all hell.
I don't know anything about guns. Maybe someone who's into guns would enjoy that.
It's not an actual gun, right? It's a replica.
This is a lighter.
Okay.
It's a lighter replica.
Lighter.
And yeah, it's super expensive, but it comes apart. And it has a nice little case.
Where does the fire come out?
It's not a real lighter.
Okay.
It's just 2 lighters and a pen that make up this gun.
What?
And it's not real gold, so the $800 don't.
You have to assemble it. It's like a transformer.
So it's a lighter, a pen, and
another lighter.
You need the cuff
another
links.
lighter.
The cuff link is the trigger.
That's how you can pass through security everywhere.
Okay, is that the plot of the movie? I don't remember the last time I saw this specific James Bond movie. I know I saw it when I was little, and I'm pretty sure it has Christopher Lee, but I could be entirely mistaken. It'd be cool if this gun was designed in the movie to kind of sneak through security checkpoints. This is just my lighter pen cufflink
combo
case. 8, and they're all golden.
It's got to be part of the movie that they had to.
Yeah, it makes sense that it would
just
be.
pass through with it.
We should know this.
Yeah, but what other games affected your childhood, and did any connect to comic books?
No,
none.
Harvest Moon 64.
You played all the SpiderMan games.
Yeah, but
religiously.
Mm-hmm.
Back and forth.
But not on the 64.
Yeah, but was there even a Spider-Man for 64? I know there
I
was a
think so.
Superman
I played
game.
the one on PlayStation, and I think they might have been the same game, just on 2 different consoles, but I didn't care for it that much. It had Stan Lee doing the audio, though, which is really cool.
That was awesome. I remember
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, for me, I didn't have any. I don't know. I don't think they influenced my interest in comics. I did love that X-Men arcade game when they had you could play
Heck yeah, man.
back
that
in
was
the day
great.
when you had like 4 people could play and you could be all these different X-Men characters, and
Even like
more
Marvel versus Capcom, when that was out, I always thought that was one of the best depictions of Marvel characters. I mean, think of Wolverine. I still remember how he looks on that game. He's crouched, he's thick,
Yep.
he's small, and he's quick, and he's a brute, and he's in brown. That's my Wolverine.
And he had his berserker attack. He
Exactly.
I liked that game specifically because they used obscure characters. They didn't just use Wolverine. They had like Shumagorath in there, and like who did they have? Like they had Juggernaut in there. If I'm not, I didn't really play that game. I really don't like fighting games, but that was a cool game.
Yeah, Venom.
Yep, Venom was in that game.
would do. Captain America was in it.
Who was not cool back then, and not really until the movies happened. Was
True.
Captain America cool? He was like a joke.
Yeah, I really I grew up. I mean, outside of the normal Nintendo, Super Nintendo, for me, like I was big into the fighting games, the Street Fighter when it first came out. I mean, like that was a big thing. You could do little codes. I mean, you could go to the arcade, do a handcuff where Guile would actually handcuff you. You do a special trick with the hands and you cuff you and you can't get away. Like he's stuck to you and you have to like I think to wait till time runs out. It was kind of stupid, but like there was all kinds of cool arcade tricks you could do with the Street Fighter, and then Mortal Kombat came out. So I was just big on the fighting ones because you can go head to head with somebody and keep playing, which was just really a cool aspect to it. And then when it came to the platforms, you can actually play them on Super Nintendo Street Fighter. Oh man, that was where I spent most of my time playing. And I loved RPG games too, but for me, Street Fighter, man.
I know a lot of the Gempire, the Geminites.
Geminites.
Yeah, over on Gemman's channel, there's a big collector base of arcade games, but like the redone ones, like the ones you can get at Walmart. You can actually buy a box of like it's like
the cabinet.
A cabinet, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for, like a cabinet for Mortal Kombat, and you can.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're starting to remake these. Not the same, The thing with a lot of those is the controls. They're made for the platforms they were on, and it's hard to match that, even like the sensitivity of the buttons. But people enjoy it. And one other thing, while we're on the subject of video games, pretty big video game collector like resurgence, isn't there?
Oh man, the video game market has been crazy.
Even in our sphere, like think of how many dealers are now dealing video games now.
Yeah, they really have. They've branched out, and the amount of money that's being put into it, especially with the new grading company, Wada Games, who has a beautiful case for their games. It's
Graded
gorgeous.
video games.
Yeah, it's a thing, man.
WADA, Wada
Like a
Games.
cartridge.
Yeah, cartridge.
Cartridges in the box, like you can grade
Wow.
video
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, look up the case, man. It's
did not know that.
gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's for certain games, man. They go for a high amount of money. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think a Super Mario, like a certain version of it, still in box, high grade, was like over 100K.
Oh man.
Crazy like that or more. I mean, and
Yeah.
there's I don't know the game market very well.
Yeah, so take all the prices with a grain of salt here, but there
Yeah.
are people in the comic book community that have diversified the way that they sell, and they're getting into video games.
Big time.
All right, so let's also move this conversation over to something we alluded to in the show. We were chatting about Spider-Man and how this like news website, this new website that they've posted has provided some details on maybe a direction of where they had hoped the Spider-Man franchise would take the MCU. But now this is all potential for not happening. Like all this stuff is hearsay at this point because of the Sony Disney dispute.
Everything's up in the air now.
So let's chat about what's up in the air and what's being spec'd on.
Well, there's rumors that they were thinking of after Far From Home, after Avengers Endgame, they were going to rely heavily on Tom Holland's Peter Parker, Spider-Man, to kind of, be kind of like a focal character for the movies moving forward, and it makes sense. Like he was kind of the new Iron Man in a way, like he was being trained by Robert Downey Jr. throughout those movies, and it's not hard to visualize them using him as the focal point.
They even announced recently during like the rehash of the first, trading of trademarks that hopefully we can see Tom Holland not just take on an additional 3 films, but they wanted him in like the next 3 Avengers films. They wanted to get him in for 6 different movies. That's what Disney was trying to make happen. Now, that's again all rumors and nothing's confirmed and not looking good at this point.
Yeah, apparently there were talks for them to build this next phase of movies with both an earthbound threat and a cosmic threat, that two different sections of the Marvel universe heroes would have to kind of fight separately. But now that Spider-Man is no longer in the mix, the rumor was that they were going to be using Norman Osborn and Oscorp, and maybe even like Hammer. His, when Norman Osborn takes over Shield and changes it into Hammer, it becomes more, evil, and the whole Dark Reign storyline, which would have been really cool to see happen in the MCU. It's not looking like that's going to happen now that Sony is out of the picture, so they're kind of maybe having to retool their plans here and pick a different Earth-based threat for that half of their ongoing storyline.
And who is the rumored villain?
The new rumors are saying that they have switched from Norman Osborn to focus on Doctor Doom.
How cool would that be?
That'd be amazing. I mean, obviously, like we said, it's rumors, so take it, like we said earlier, a grain of salt on some of this stuff. But Doom, and we know Doom has got to lead to Fantastic Four eventually.
And then where's that cosmic piece come in?
Silver Surfer.
Galactus?
Right?
I mean, you got to think that whatever's happening on Earth and in the cosmic world or space, if it comes back to Earth, how big that could be.
It's got to be bigger than Thanos. Like, Thanos was, the saga was it's legendary. And as a villain is so mighty. And it really, like, being able to last film after film, they got to come to play with something big. And that thing has to not just be grandiose, but it needs to be giant-sized.
Has to carry the plot of multiple movies. And I could see nobody better, I think, for that than like Galactus out in space. Maybe do a whole Silver Surfer movie and show like the whole planet of Zenla. Like you were saying last year, you gave a whole idea for what you wanted the Galactus Silver Surfer movie to look like.
Right.
And your plan didn't have Galactus even showing up on Silver Surfer's planet until like the end of the first Silver Surfer film, leading into the Fantastic Four later on, or something like that. I need to go back and watch that video again because you gave a very good speech about what you want the Silver Surfer movie to look like.
Yeah, I just wanted the focus not to be on, well, you have Fantastic Four, now you know what's coming. And if anything, what we've learned through the Infinity Gauntlet saga and going through the origins of Silver Surfer is that there's enough history and backstory to just his origin story that you could have an entire movie just about that, and about Zenlaw, and about this Kirby intelligent community, like just crazy mechanics and just like what next level humans could be like in a world where everything's perfect and mental illness is the issue and running rampant through a society of incredibly intelligent beings. Like there's so much potential in just that.
And if you focus on that enough, you would distract people and make them forget that Galactus is bound to destroy this planet later on. So when that does happen, it's both like a twist and it's obvious that people should have seen that coming. People who are paying attention to the comics anyway. It would be a very cool, interesting way to retell that story. And
Give
if
us
you just
that first.
right.
Yeah, I think they know how to tell a story and they know how to build anticipation. And I do like what you're saying there because we can introduce a character that deserves his own movie, his own backstory. So that would be awesome. And again, I mean, this is building for phase 4 and 5. So, I mean, we have some time. But I think there's enough strong characters in the MCU right now with Black Panther and Doctor Strange and, as Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, just to really carry us for a little while and bring some awesome stuff. I mean, I'm really stoked. I'm really, really, really over the moon for the next couple of years to see where everything goes. I can't even wait.
Imagine the Thanos reveal. Like when we first saw Thanos at the end of the movie, how it felt. And all we saw was just a little bit.
Side of his face at the end of Avengers, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That moment needs to be like
you know what it's gonna be, right? They're gonna cut to like a castle in Latveria, and there's gonna be like some scared servant having to walk into the throne room and tell the guy sitting in the chair, and he's gonna turn around, and all you're gonna see is like maybe a half of like a little metal mask or something. You're gonna get like a really, really faint tease of Doctor Doom in a throne in a castle in Latveria, and I'm
Metal
gonna lose my
arm.
damn mind.
That would be it. Game over. It needs to offer that same weight. Like, oh, something's coming, and I have to watch the movies, no matter who the character is, because it may tie to this larger story that's going to take stuff to the next level. Thanks so much, Comic Fan. We do appreciate your time today. Please geek responsibly. Also, rate the podcast on whatever platform you are on. Come say hi to us in New York City Comic Con. What's the booth number one more time?
2414 Silver Age Comics.
We'll be there Thursday, Friday, and all day Saturday, hover around the comic book section. We'll be around. We'll be hunting. And please come out and say hi. We love meeting you. As always,
Geek responsibly.
see you next Sunday.
Bye.